I'm Dr. Jennifer Parker Moore. I'm joined by Janice Harding and Laura Cummings in collaboration with the McCrell organization. And this is an introduction to modules with using technology with classroom instruction that works. This is part of the TRIG 22I Classroom Readiness course and will specifically talk about modules 5, 6, and 7. Your learning objectives for these modules include knowing the strategies within the 9 categories of best practice that comprise the framework for instructional planning. We also hope that you will understand the classroom recommendations for each category, make connections between and among the categories and strategies, and the technology resources that support them. Finally, we'd like to see you transfer the learning into specific changes in your pedagogy that you will apply in the classroom. What is best practice? According to McCrell, this module refers to the best practice instruction based on the research that Mid-Continent Research for Education and Learning Labs did. They use 9 categories of instructional practices, which are formally called the Marzano 9, and build upon this in the second edition of their text, where each category contains one or more strategies, and it's framed based on the framework for instructional planning. This module will reference many of the resources, including Classroom Instruction That Works, 2nd edition, and the Using Technology with Classroom Instruction That Works. We will build on the framework for instructional planning and the best practice categories introduced in the Classroom Instruction That Works book and provide you with the technology categories and resources that are supported and explained in the Using Technology with Classroom Instruction That Works text. The framework for instructional planning is introduced in the CITW text and involves 3 zones, including the red zone, the orange zone, and the blue zone. Each zone contains multiple categories or strategies. The red zone part of the framework for instructional planning includes setting objectives and providing feedback, reinforcing effort and providing recognition, and cooperative learning. The orange zone includes cues, questions, and advanced organizers, non-linguistics, summarizing and note-taking, and assigning homework and practice. The blue zone includes identifying similarities and differences and generating and testing hypothesis. As we move to the categories and look at them as zones, you'll notice on the left-hand side you've got the 9 categories for best practice, and the arrows hopefully will help you to see how those categories transfer into the red zone, the orange zone, and the blue zone. Examples of the strategies, it's important that you understand that categories and strategies are different. Categories sometimes have multiple strategies. In this example, you see how setting objectives and providing feedback as a category includes 2 strategies, setting objectives and providing feedback. Consider the zone as you move through this module. The red zone, non-negotiables, must-haves, the orange zone, where the teaching happens, or the blue zone, where you're building understanding with higher level thinking. In addition to the CITW text introducing the framework for instructional planning and the 9 best practice categories, they also make reference in the move away from the Bloom's taxonomy to Webb's depth of knowledge in the pursuit of smarter balanced online assessments. Please make sure that you understand the transition from Bloom's to Webb's. The Using Technology with Classroom Instruction That Works builds upon the blue CITW book and introduces 9 technology categories which complement the 9 best practice categories. You'll learn about word processing applications, organizing and brainstorming, data collection and analysis, communication and collaboration, instructional media, multimedia creation, instructional interactives, database and reference resources, as well as kinesthetics. Examples of these tech categories will be provided throughout the modules. For example, in the category of word processing applications, you'll learn about Word or Google Docs and their use to support the best practice categories such as setting objectives and providing feedback. For example, you could use a word processing tool to create a learning objective and print it or post it for your classroom or include it on a syllabus or an assignment sheet. In addition to the resources presented in each module, check out techbestpractice.net. For videos, tutorials, and how-tos, check out 21thingsforteachers.net. As you move through the module, participants will be expected to know, understand, make connections, and transfer the learning. We'll want you to know the definitions and recommendations for the category, based on the readings, videos, and resources. We'll also want you to understand best practice recommendations for that category through the examples and the links that are shared. Making connections will be through exploring technology categories and the best practice recommendations that are provided. Finally, we'll want you to transfer the learning. Put what you've learned into practice through a classroom application. Moving step by step through the module, review the readings, videos, and resources, consider the examples that are shown, and select and apply the tech resources to demonstrate your knowledge of this category. You'll be asked to do a capstone, a reflection, or a classroom application and post to your digital online portfolio. There's always extra help at the resources provided, Tech Best Practice or 21 Things for Teachers, or other links throughout the modules. Resources include definitions, the zone and the framework for instructional practice, classroom recommendations, technology resources, examples, and of course links to additional resources. Make sure your proof of learning includes posts to your digital portfolio. Include your capstone, your reflection, or your classroom application and post it. Let's get started. Log into your course and select the module. For additional information, check out your additional resources or check in with your regional coordinator or coach. These materials were created under license from McCrell by Dr. Jennifer Parker Moore and Janice Harding of Macomb Intermediate School District.